Hey there, Facebook land. If you have found your way here, it is either because you are interested in watching me teach myself how to play the violin, or maybe you yourself are just interested in the violin, or as a third option, maybe you like to hear music be murdered. In either regard, welcome. So, first things first, you can just call me Raven. Second things, maybe just a little bit of context and level setting before we get into this whole thing. First off, this is day one. Day one of what? Day one of me teaching myself how to play this lovely instrument right here and hopefully hold myself accountable, which is why I'm posting to YouTube. And I tend to have a pretty terrible problem with self-discipline, so this is really kind of my effort to be accountable to you all and have a reason to kind of practice every single day, even if I'm not feeling like it. Now, a couple things. I have, when I was younger, I taught myself how to play the piano. And so this is not my first time around an instrument. Obviously, this is very different, but I really don't have to kind of come up to speed with notes and whole notes and half notes and sharps and flats. I really kind of understand all of that. So if you're teaching yourself how to play an instrument, you're going to find that that's going to be quite a challenge. That's tough stuff. So I'm really just kind of starting with that fundamental knowledge and figuring out how to play this thing. Second thing, this is not the first time that I have tried to play the violin. So although this is day one, you'll find that I am getting a little bit of lift because there is a modicum of familiarity with the instrument. That being said, as you'll see here in just a minute, I am by all means a beginner. In fact, I have an absolute beginner's book right over here, ready to be used. And Mary Had a Little Lamb is going to kick my butt. So for all intents and purposes, I am starting pretty much from scratch. So with that being said, as we go forward, I will post videos daily, but I'll keep these kind of short and sweet, so you can consider this an introduction mainly for day one. Of course, I'll play a little bit so that we can kind of set a benchmark for where I'm at, and hopefully a year from now we can compare and contrast and then hopefully see a pretty big difference. As I get better, I will keep the videos longer because that's more fun for everyone. But until then, I'm going to save everyone the agony and just kind of keep it pretty short. Oh, we're not ready to start yet. The other thing, motivation. Every single day when I practice, I will pour myself a glass of wine. Before we get started, that's really good. All right. You guys, first things first, always. Okay, so here we go. So I've got my beginner's guide up. The first thing it's having me do is really kind of just bow the open strings. So I've got G, D, A, and E. So I'm just going to bow those openly and try to do that without sounding too terrible. Now it's going to have me practice that for a couple more exercises. In fact, lessons 2 and 3 are all about the open strings. I'm not going to do that 80 times for you guys. So see, beginner's book right here. Absolute beginner. Okay, so we're going to fast forward all the way to all right, we're going to go to lesson 5 because all of those are really just playing the open strings with different tempos. Okay. Now lesson 5 is tricky, and this really sets us up for the big finale, which is Mary Had a Little Lamb. So lesson 5. So lesson 5 is all about the A string, which is my third string. And it's using fingers 1 and 2, right there, 1 and 2, to basically play a B note and then a C sharp. Now I have a tuner up right by the video because I need to see how I'm playing. And for those of you that are familiar with the violin, you'll notice that I do not have any tape on my neck. For beginners, that is highly recommended that you put tape on the neck so that you know exactly where to place your fingers. That's supposed to be an easier shortcut. People typically do that for about 6 months to a year. However, I am a firm believer that when you're teaching yourself an instrument, you will get a lot further faster if you don't take the shortcuts. And so I'm going to do it the hard way. And I'm hoping that by doing it the hard way, my ear will get trained quicker on where the notes are, and ultimately I'll be a better player for it. In the meantime, we're all going to suffer. Okay. All right. So what do we got here? We have a bunch of stuff. Okay. So it's basically A, 4 counts, B, 4 counts, C, 4 counts, and then walking backward. I can memorize that, so I don't need to look at the book. I'm just going to look at my tuner and find my B first. You guys, I can't find my B. It's kind of there. Okay, that's my C sharp. Cover your ears now. All right. So you guys can hear that that was a little off tune, wobbly, and a little bit screechy. And so for the rest of the lesson, I'll do that probably another 80 times, and eventually work myself up to Mary Had a Little Lamb. But for right now, we'll go ahead and just kind of jump there. At the beginning of each lesson, I'll kind of show where I'm at. So Mary Had a Little Lamb is really the big finale of day 1. So we're going to go there now. Okay. Oh, and we're combining the E string in this one as well. So we're kind of up in our game there. But my fingers are really only coming into play on the A string. Okay. All right, find my C sharp. A little out of tune, find my B. Okay. Things. Missed a note, was off tune, screeched, and kind of lost track of my counting because I was trying to listen and look and read. So a lot of things going on with the violin, much harder than the piano. You've got the bow, you've got your fingers, you have your ear, you're maybe like me also looking at the tuner, and you're also trying to keep beat and notes. So that's where I'm at for day 1. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you'll tune in as I continue to practice. And cheers to you all for enduring that with me. I'm going to keep playing. Thank you. Bye, y'all. Get out of here.